Good morning, guys. We are gonna do a little bit of crappie fishing this morning and maybe venture into some bass fishing too. I got my neighbor Fred with me. So we're taking out a Kaufman today, a little bit different than normal. Had my boat home for a little bit of maintenance, changing the oil after 20 hours. So we're gonna start here, and if things don't pan out, we'll work our way down towards some of the creeks I normally fish. But I believe the last tournament Nathan and I fished, we found some good crappie up in one of these creeks here. So we're gonna go venture in there, start with that. Hopefully they're biting, and we'll go from there. There he is.
Really?
Yep. That was the softest bite ever.
That's a dandy.
It's a healthy one. Make sure we're catching some decent ones if we're not catching a lot. Oh, I think that is number 6 for me. We are working for him. This fish seemed to have moved out of the creek channels like they had been, and they're up on like the first flat, like right outside of the creek channel. So we're starting to find a lot more now. Catching some decent ones though today. There he is. I was just about to say, I think this color's out.
Oh, I got one too.
Nice.
I saw him come up.
Perfect.
Live scope.
I got a feisty one over here. This thing's like a tuna, man. It's flashing all over the place. Not super huge. White crappie. What do you got, a white or a black?
I don't know.
Black crappie.
Oh, okay.
This is a white. See the see how the bars are like vertical here?
Uh-huh.
Now yours has got all the specks.
Uh-huh.
So that's a black, that's a white.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, you got him.
Take that.
Yep.
Nice. Very nice. Fred, one after another.
Yeah. Keep going.
That's right. There's one. They're starting to bite now for us a little bit. They've been a little finicky today, a little tight-lipped. Have to move around and catch one or two here or there and move. Now they're starting to finally turn on a little. Well, thank you, sir.
Uh-huh.
They got a little dock,
Okay.
and it was right off that was the little sweet spot.
Oh, wow. Got one.
Yep. But yeah, just it was probably end of March, I would guess, when we were fishing. I mean, he whacked them. We had a whole basket full in like no time. Like, it was so good that I went back up home and got my crappie rod and came back. All right, so that's a short little video for crappie fishing. I didn't have my camera on the entire time, just trying to enjoy the day with Fred. But as far as the crappie went, really noticed that the fish have started to move out of the middle of the creek channel like they were. There were still some out there, but the schools were not nearly as impressive, and they're just scattered, I would say, more. I found a lot of the larger schools, like they were shifted up onto the first flat right out of the creek channel. Some of them were as shallow as like 10 feet in some of the creeks. Some of them were still suspended over, 20 feet of water or so, just out of like the deeper shelf, I would call, of the creek channel, which is around 30 feet, maybe 35, depends what creek you're in. But that's just kind of the direction that the fish are going to keep going, you know, as we get closer to spring and the fish are starting to pull up a little bit closer to the bank, spawn and stuff like that. And then some of my best schools that I fished all winter, which were on like channel swings and channel banks and stuff, they had really split up and was extremely small compared to what it used to be. I mean, it was a massive school all winter of tons and tons and tons of fish, and it got broken up into a much smaller amount. Some of them had pushed up a little bit closer to the bank, but on like my particular channel swings and stuff that I was leaning on pretty heavy for my mega schools were gone. Those fish really weren't even pushed up on the bank there. I think they had pushed back probably a little bit further to another secondary point, or even slid into a little bit of that pocket there. I didn't actually go in that pocket and look. So that's very possible that some of them kind of pushed in there, somewhere that they're going to be able to pull up to and spawn eventually. But the shad, they were also breaking up a little bit too. Like, there were shad all over in the backs of the creeks, mostly like 3/4 to the backs is where I was focusing. I did see some about halfway, but they weren't all just right in the gut as much as they were. Some of them were actually pushed up relatively shallow as well with some of the schools. So as far as the finicky fish, we were throwing the Easy Shiner, the 3-inch, and I wish I had some different colors that had more contrast. I only had 2 colors with me that day, which was Pro Purple and Shad, and they're almost identical. But I think maybe a little bit different contrast color could have got a few more bites on them. But what we really should have done, and something that I will make a video on, is corking. People call it corking, whatever you want to call it, the crappie terms. Throw a bobber. You can use a slip bobber, a fixed bobber, whatever, and throw just like a little jig. You can throw a hair jig. A trout fly would even really work really, really well. They're super picky or finicky. And whatever little plastic you want on there, something small, throw that, and you just bring it over top of those suspended fish, and either let it totally sit there, or you just very, very slowly reel it back and then give it some pauses and stuff. And that can get a lot of those finicky fish to bite. So I'll have a video on that coming up here soon. We might probably end up doing that this weekend just to mess around and get you just a little bit different content. But all in all, fishing pretty decent. It's going to get better. And it was a fun day, beautiful weather. So I can't really ask for too much more. So we'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.